Okay, so why am I building this record? Well, mainly because I can. I've always wanted a wrecker. My dad was a tow truck driver. Used to, if any of you remember Connects, used to make a tow truck about this big out of Connects, and it had a boom, blah blah blah. Just a string and it would tow other little Connects cars around. So I've always wanted a wrecker. And my wife found that big yellow wrecker deck for me for a few $100. Couldn't resist bringing it home. I'm always going to McLean and 4x4 out there, which hopefully I'll have some videos of that once I actually build a truck. I've always wanted to go and have a recovery truck / tow rig. So figured why not make one. And then I started researching off-road wreckers and saw this guy. It's called BSF Recovery. He's an awesome dude. He's got a YouTube channel with like 500 videos. He's got a square body Chevy wrecker. It's on like 37s, 1-tons lockers, and he just goes around towing everybody out on trails. So if you haven't checked out his channel, definitely do. BSF, you inspired me to have motivation to build mine. It's probably not sexy for the camera. So that's the plan with this thing. I'm gonna turn into a 4x4 wrecker. I originally planned to do the crew cab, but this is already 4-wheel drive. And a 1-ton dually. The crew cab's only 3/4 ton. It's basically a 1-ton, but just without the title. So yeah, that's the plan. It's gonna be my tow rig off-road wrecker, mainly for recovering myself, but if somebody else needs a hand or has got the cash, you never know, might be able to make a little bit of money down the way with this thing. Time to do some CAD work for the dually to figure out the fish plates. And by CAD work, I mean cardboard assisted design. It's just as good as a computer. Okay, so I'm happy with how this turned out. I'm gonna go right to the front, or sorry, the back of the front leaf spring hanger. Leaf spring hanger will be about here. This will be on the inside, boxing it in. And on the outside, I'll just go to the back of the hanger. And then the front, got a cross member here for the hanger bearing. You can probably see it winter there. So it goes right to there, kind of goes around it. Learned from a lot of reading on Pirate 4x4 a long time ago. Round edges, less chance of cracking. And on the outside, since I'm going farther forwards on the back, I'll also go farther forwards on the front. I can make it to the front of the mid cab mount. And the reason I'm doing this is, as you can see, right here, which is right where my wrecker deck's gonna come down and bolt to, and pull upwards when I pull down on the back of the truck picking up the car. It's not as thick. See, it's like 8 inches there and only 5.5, 6 here. And this is right where the pressure is. I researched a little bit, and it turns out that's where everybody's bracing, because that's where it bends. Chevy skimped out a little bit there on their 90 Chevys for tow trucks, so that's where I'll be bracing it. I'd like to eventually box in the whole frame, but searched up, got a few quotes, and I got to kind of balance between not having any money and doing it properly. and I can afford about 4 foot by 4 foot sheet, a 1/4 inch plate. So that's what I'll be buying. Gives me enough to do the inside and the outside where I want it on both sides. Which means the next step will be dropping the gas tank, I guess, and order some steel now. Got my other side all trimmed out, going around the cab mounts. I'll weld around there, obviously. The only one I think I might cut out is this one, because as you can see, there's only an inch here. I know I would be welding all around here, but I don't feel like that's as strong as just having a plate, so I'll cut this back here. It's not a lot of structure I'm cutting out, and it's just for the box. I'll have a big cab mount here too for the box, and I'll be mounting it up here too, and across a couple other cross members across here and to the back of the frame, so it should be solidly on there. I'm not too worried about that little bit right there. We interrupt this program to perform an oil change on the wife's truck. You may return to your regularly scheduled program. And got them overlapped with each other. As you can see, I got the fish blade is 1/2 inch smaller on the top and the bottom, just because of the curve of the frame. Figured I'd do that. You can see here how much overlap there is. And the same with on the back here. It's kind of staggered. Don't know if that's better. Who knows? And just because I can't afford any screw ups, I have drawn out a 4x4 sheet and drawn each one on here, even leaving room for the blade width. People tend to forget that. Rounded everything off, and I actually still have quite a bit left over, and a bunch of scraps to practice welding on first, because I've never really welded with my welder that I have. So might take a few tries to get it perfect before I do it on the truck. And just to be sure, I'm gonna drop the tank and test my pieces over on this side, just to make sure that nothing is different on this side. Because like I said, I can't afford to screw up. I can barely afford the sheet. You can tell I'm more of a fabricator than a mechanic, eh? My mechanic videos, I'm like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm not sure, I think this is the right way, I'm gonna have to Google this, blah blah blah. Fabricate it, and I'm like, boom, here's my fish plate, boom, here's my box plate, yeah, drew it all out, gonna get the steel, boom, done. Drop the tank and cleared up around here, so I got tons of room to work, and it's really starting to look kind of bare. Got it jacked up so I can kind of get under there to the frame better, and because the wife is a lot smarter than me, she pointed out that this would be a great time to do a diff service while there's no box on it. So let's go and pull that apart and see what kind of gross crap we can find in there. So I got a question. Who the hell replaces just one shock? Stock crappy beat up shock. Aftermarket replace shock. Like, what the hell? I know no history of this truck, and I really wish I did, because working on this thing, it's telling some stories. Got our 14 bolt here, all 14 bolts out. Got my pry bar and my hammer, and let's see what's in here. And I know nothing about this truck, so I have no idea what gears. I'm hoping 410s or 456. Don't be 373s. Please don't be 373s. Ooh. Actually, that's kind of healthy looking. This doesn't look too bad. Numbers. Probably should have brought a rag. Alright, now I got a rag, I found the numbers. Let's see, a 10 and a 41. We got some 410s. I'm happy with that. Everything looks pretty decent. Got some sludge at the bottom, but no big chunkies, so I think she should be okay.